What a woman feels when she knows she needs men to recognize when they have diminished your value. A woman genuinely understands that she has lost a high-value man. You're missing more than just someone. It's a strong wake-up call. She begins to notice things she used to miss. She dismissed every flaw she encountered. She said, "This isn't just about you'll feel awful about telling the brutal truth, that some losses can't be replaced." The first shock. Stay by her side as her feelings are, knowing more than you think and going deeper. This could change how you go forward. Part 1. The first shock and denial. The very first wave she feels is a feeling scatter like a storm, coming from nowhere. At first, she may not even be aware that she feels a feeling of loss, because her ego might show her that it's not a big deal. She's fine without you, but the truth of your absence dawns on her, starts to go through a huge stories trying to make sense of what's going on with this shock. It feels like a sudden blow to the face. She recognizes that she has lost something. This is valuable, and it fully captures her essence. Caught off guard because in her mind she really didn't think you'd walk away or would only have. During this time, she'll remember you. Start of comparison replay several times with you. Try to figure out where things are. As she began to crumble, she decided to check her texts. Look through pictures and go back in time. Talks that stick to every detail. That might help her understand what's going on. Pride could still be telling her she is happier, but her mind and heart aren't. Are having a hard time with this wall of denies it, and every day she finds stopping these situations becomes increasingly difficult. Thoughts which keep coming back with even more. It's important to understand that the shock acts as a warning. One that lets her know she's lost someone with traits she might not like in anyone else. It's not just about missing. It's about the raw awareness that she might have turned one of the best people away. Things that ever took place to her. The first step is often painful because not only does the death of a person occur, but also a crack appeared in the way she perceived herself. She might think, "Did I do something wrong? Was what I said about him wrong?" Linger and grow, creating a mix of sadness and doubt. She will find it difficult to overlook this situation, regret it and think about yourself. There comes a time when she must confront her ego. Once told her she'd be okay without you, however, are experiencing a decline in trust. The truth is that I didn't mean to lose you, something she was ready for, and she doesn't know if she'll ever find someone like you. Part 2. The comparison game again. Starts after the shock wears off and she finds herself falling into a never-ending cycle. She compares herself to every man she encounters. Now serves as a measuring stick for she checks the depth, originality, and because of how you changed her life, she may continue to move forward. Dates aim to move and meet new people forward, but there's a shadow that can't be seen. I kept a close watch on every move and that shadow. She encounters you each time she meets a new person. She is compelled to judge a person. Against the traits, you had traits. She knew what to expect, but was uncertain. I appreciate this analysis up until now. The stage is more serious than just fun. Tests, it's an investigation into what she really cares about and what you showed up in her life when she met men who aren't patient like you were with her, or the drive you brought to the table. It dawns on her how rare those are. Things about you that she'll remember. Your ability to stay calm in tough situations and your ability to keep your feet on the ground. Want to get back together. All these details begin to stand out to me. She has traits that are priceless, but be aware that not everyone has them. What a sobering thought that there isn't a replacement for some traits, and that she might have lost in some way. She'll look at something that cannot be replaced, comparing her to other people in her life. the actions, attitudes and rules of other guys with yours at times when others may fail or behave differently than you would. She'll feel pain. A small but growing hole reminds her of something, of what she let go of. It's a stage. She feels silent sorrow as she realizes that not every man can achieve success. Make her feel the way you did, she starts, to see that the link between you two shared, even if it wasn't fully formed, characteristics that are challenging to in order to find through each comparison. She learns more about what constitutes a high. She recognizes the uniqueness of the man. These traits aren't just on the surface, level traits, but these beliefs and rules that every choice is based on, and at this stage, she might even begin to admire your self-control. She demonstrated patience and hard work. Never did, before they knew that most individuals struggle with these traits. To represent, and as she learns more, does she regret attending each new meeting, getting along and growing? Every link that fails makes the know what she's part 3, loss, regret, and she considers herself to be the authentic version of herself. As the pain of loss sets in, she goes through a phase. This is the stage where deep sorrow occurs. She no longer looks for things to do outside of work, to calm down or meet new people. Instead of finding people to fill the void, it was up to her to face herself. And she did. Not just about losing you. It's about she is losing a part of herself that she used to have. This resonated with someone as grounded as me. There are times during this stage when deep thought in which she questions the things she did and even her own. She writes about these quiet moments in her book, seeing how important her choices were, the small claims, the dismissive deeds, or the lack of thanks for all. These thoughts begin to surface in her mind, and she starts to understand hers. What could she have done to push you away? Ask her whether she truly cared about you. Her pride prevented her from doing this. Easy to understand reminders that stay away as an acknowledgement of her own flaws, fears and habits that cause this. The result of the sorrow she feels isn't. It's the kind of sorrow that doesn't last, lingers, that looks at her every day. She might find herself imagining what might have happened if she simply developed a slightly stronger affection for you than she had previously. Taken a moment to understand, or given the connection, these thoughts could potentially cause pain. They show what she's doing wrong, and in many ways, you were the one. Who gave the friendship their all? While she put this part of self-reflection forces her to deal with, she experienced her own fears and feelings of insecurity, stupidity, but it turns out to be a lesson, one that hurts and makes her think of how important it is to value someone who treats you well. She treats her well and aids in her growth, starts to understand how deep what you, in addition to being a partner, a person with strong morals, and there are items that are difficult to find. Thoughts about her may cause her to question herself, how she feels about herself, and what she really wants in a relationship. It's a moment that makes her realize that a feeling of being empty. Not only did she lose a wonderful partner, also a copy of herself who had the chance to grow with someone interesting. Part 4. The need for I am reconnecting with you as the guilt begins to sink in. She'll really want to get back in touch. It's not just an urge to reach out, but a strong desire to relive what she will feel, moved by the experience she had with you. To talk, to clear things up, and maybe to say sorry for things she brushed. I often feel this desire to connect, too much because it's caused by a feeling of unfinished business and you need to compensate for the lost space. Without you, pride no longer matters. It's about making peace with she now knows that the choice she made was wrong. She may even attempt to make a promise to herself. If she were given another chance, she could things right. This wish for reconnection comes from the become aware that you were someone who helped her become a better person. If she remains silent at that moment, when she thinks about what you did, being consistent and having patience, be aware that these are traits. It made her feel safe, important and seen. Realizing what she did wrong, she's ready to do anything now, to bring that back. What's wrong with this? By the time she arrives, it might be too late for all of this now. You've probably grown up and moved on. This is even stronger without her here. Seeing this is part of her sorrow, as she, deep down, you know that reaching out now is important. Although it may seem futile, the yearning persists. It's not about what can be done, it's about being what she needs to be. If it's not too far away, dream part 5, acceptance, and finally, growth. After all the feelings, she was filled with regrets and efforts to reconnect. Comes to acceptance, but this stage isn't. It's not always quiet. It's more of a gave up, realizing that some things she will acknowledge that it's irreversible. You've moved on, and she had her chance. Being with someone like you has made this possible. To let go, she has to grow up and accept what is. She was determined to finally break free from her old habits. She is here to take responsibility for her choices. She might learn something that transforms her. No matter who she dates in the future, want to improve yourself. Never find someone who is exactly right for you. This acceptance helps her learn to value it. Herself in a different way, maybe realizing how important are trust, honesty and kindness. She might understand that what she lost was she found a lover and a younger version of herself, liked but couldn't. Keep up this acceptance becomes she can build upon this foundation. Approach relationships in the future with more understanding. She should be mature and value what she has, when she has it, but there will always be. She doesn't remember you. This is just a chapter, but it serves as a lesson. To value the unique and unreplaceable things that are very valuable. Section 6 of Man. The lingering reminders after she starts to understand. She needs to cope with the fact that she lost you. There are many memories of the past. It's not just these memories, those old pictures that bring back memories or friends. They get into daily things that make her realize the potential of what she possessed. Be a radio song, something you used to sing along with, or a smell that takes her back. Making up what-if scenarios. A certain memory of you, even normal things, like walking by. Somewhere you both went or heard someone bring up a book you suggested. Can make her feel a lot of different things. I wasn't ready for these memories. A constant presence of silence, bringing the impression you left on her mind, was profound. As she encounters these fragments of life, she can't escape her feelings from the past, that she lost something important. Reminding someone is like looking in a mirror. Not just what you shared, but also the safety and knowledge are essential for personal growth. Mark your relationship. She might try to eliminate these push notifications. Clear them. Start out as nothing, but as they get more, she feels a deeper connection to them. As these moments accumulate, she feels a sense of loss. She starts to understand that her life is with you. It was a one-of-a-kind and valuable experience. It wasn't just the top level. They were memories of conversations that she was formed, made to feel safe. And these memories made her feel like she belonged, like ghosts of things that might have been. I am silently observing her. People who saw a link that once meant everything in Section 7. The growing sense of void once knew that no completely new event could occur. You filled a hole in her life. She knows she won't find anyone else. It begins to sink in that this is more than just solitude. It's not merely solitude, it's a void. that you feel when you lose someone who deeply understood her. She knows that. There's a gap, and it's one that demonstrates the influence you had on her. Living in a place where no one else seems to be able to fill this out involves more than just missing information. As a person, it's about missing. She described how she felt when she was with you, and how you made her feel important and valued. She tries to fill the hole she feels, might look for distractions, immerse. She encourages herself to try new things, or even to look for new ties, but every time they try, she met someone to make up for what she had lost, with the same hollow. Every time she meets a new person, she becomes more confident, or does something she thinks might take her mind off of it. She finds that it only serves as a short-term escape. Emptiness stays with us like a quiet memory. She held a special bond with you, a bond that went deeper than appearances and interactions, and it was based on real making the link and getting this. Often, feeling empty is what leads to looking inside herself and seeing that she is aware of the impact you left on her. You were more than just passing through, but there was someone who gave her life more depth. And what this realization means grows. She wished she had held on to her sadness. Take the lesson to heart. I held on to you and loved you more. I liked how stable you were. Given Section 8, knowing the depth of her. When you think about yourself, you can make mistakes. She begins to comprehend her mistakes more clearly. It's more clear than ever that it's no longer. It's about having regrets. It's about knowing the exact steps to take and how people felt, which led to this result. The stage where she starts to face your habits, fears, and a set of beliefs that caused a rift between you two may help her remember times when she turned down your kindness or took your. She may remember taking her efforts for granted. Fights where she showed her pride. Inform her on how to distance herself from you. Instead of focusing on understanding the situation, she is deeply sorry for her mistakes. She finds it humble to witness the small ways in which she could have been nicer. They are helpful and more patient with every little thing. The move she now regrets feels worse. She starts to understand that. The cause wasn't a single event. Losing you, but making a few small decisions. Over time, each memory accumulates. It helps you remember how little by little she weakened the base of what the experience you two had during this time was typically painful. Because she has to take responsibility for something she may not have done in the past, she has to call to action and the end. She needs to express her feelings of loss. This is partially due to her actions. She can make this as she deals with it. She knows that your qualities, your care, understanding and love were hard to find, and that her not taking care of those traits in you was a big deal. A mistake in Part 9, the wish to improve herself, then follow the a lot of self-reflection, and she starts to feel responsible for. There is a genuine desire to improve. You have become a personal driver. Growth because she now knows that she retained a few habits or traits that have stopped her from having a deep and important. This is not an easy time. It makes her feel bad because it forces her to face it. She discovered aspects of herself that she had previously overlooked or just justified. She might understand that. She needs to improve how she talks to people. She possesses the skills one can trust. I often allow pride to impede my progress. Really, this journey to improve oneself is important. It leads her to look for tools some of the time, whether it's self-help books, training, or she now feels inspired thanks to advice from friends, because she knows that if she doesn't change, she could lose something important. Again, even though she might have ignored these problems in the past. The absence of you has provided her with the motivation she needs. She had to deal with them. She is driven to grow head-on. She had a dream that one day she could feel the kind of connection she had with you again. She knows that she can't change the past, but she can change this stage. helps her work toward a better future. It's a way to honor what your presence in her life served as a constant reminder. That ties of value need high-value traits. She knows that if she wants someone as good as you in her life, she must also evolve in her life. Who cares about and supports such a link? And that's the journey she is going through when she knows she's lost a very important man. It's a powerful loss. This serves as a simple reminder of the difference you make. By being honest with yourself, you can. Important, don't forget to click like. Click the button and sign up to receive more advice on stoicism, partnerships, and mastering yourself. Write below about what stood out. Most importantly, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching.